Hi Fit Body Babe, I'm going to run through with you today how to take your body measurements so that you can track them and keep an eye on your progress. What you will need is a dressmaker's tape or one of these retractable tape measures. You can get them online, otherwise a dressmaker's tape is perfectly fine. What you want to do is make sure that you're wearing something that's quite fitted, or you can do it in your bra and undies. Okay, so we're going to start with a chest measurement, and when you're doing any of your measurements you want to make sure that your feet are together and that you are nice and relaxed. So pop those feet together, stand nice and tall, and pop the measuring tape as best you can through the midline of your breast, chest. So it's around nipple line, and you want to make sure it's nice and flat. So then you would take your measurements and pop them in the tracking section in the members portal. So after you have done the chest area, we're moving on to the waist. Now it's good to have landmarks when you're doing your measurements. So that's why for the chest area we use the nipple. For the waist we're going to use the belly button. And what you want to do is make sure that if you are wearing clothes, roll them down and make room so that your stomach is sitting relaxed and you're breathing relaxed. So we want to make sure your feet are together, you're standing nice and tall, you are relaxed, and that the tape measure is coming through the midline of your belly button and sitting nice and flat. Then you would take your measurement. Next we have our hips, and with our hips we want to make sure that we're going through the largest portion of your bottom. Alrighty, so once again you want to keep your feet together, wrap your measuring tape around, and just ensure that you are getting the largest part of your bottom in the measurements. It is around about pubic bone height, but once again you might need to check in a mirror and make sure that you are in fact at the roundest, meatiest point. Then you would check your measurements and log them, and the same with your thighs. Make sure that you've got good access to each thigh. There's two ways of doing it: the meatiest portion, the largest portion of the thigh, or if you're standing up straight where your thumb reaches, you can use that as your landmark, which is very, very similar. So if you were to stand there and you were to leave your thumb next to your thigh, you would just reach down and have a look. So make sure it's at your biggest portion, because obviously we want to make sure that you're progressing in the right areas. Check your measurements, and I like to do left and right. It is quite common to have a bigger side. That's totally normal. Don't feel worried if one side is bigger than the other. So they're the main measurements that I like to keep track of, and I'd like you to start to be aware of. We've got chest, nipple, waist, belly button, hips, our largest section, or around about our pubic bone, and then also our thighs, or where our thumb finishes on the top of our thigh. So pop those in the members portal. There is a check-in area that you can pop those in weekly, just so that you and I can both have a look at how you're progressing, because the scales aren't the only way to keep an eye on how you're going. Body measurements are a really fantastic tool as well to see change in the body shape. If you are actually building some muscle, you may notice that your measurements might not change too much, but you may feel a bit leaner, and your cellulite might decrease and you feel a bit firmer. So we do lots of different tools to keep an eye on your progress, things like jumping on the scales, things like body measurements, and then just self-assessment and self-awareness, and also popping on your favorite jeans or a bikini and, you know, taking a photo or noticing how you feel. They're all fantastic tools that we use to keep an eye on your progress. So this is just one thing that that I'd like you to do. Pop in your tracking sheet, and yeah, we're ready to go. This is our starting point, and if you're continuing to do your check-ins, keep these up, and then we can have a look at the end on how many actual centimeters you've lost over the program. Thank you, ladies. See you soon.